Hey, everybody. It's the season premiere of More Please. That's right. I'm here to give you my takes on all the latest hot topics. Plus, I follow up with some of my favorite daters from HBO Max's 12 Dates of Christmas. We have Chad, Faith, and Garrett to give us all the tea on what they've been up to since the show has aired. Grab your mugs because it's time for More Please. All right, listen, y'all, we've been gone for a minute, but we're back with the jump off, and I have all the hot topics that I just want to talk to you about. It's time for Tony's Take. Okay, so this week, lots has been going down. We're first going to go into all the Super Bowl stuff. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't know if it was the pandemic or what was happening, but I barely realized that the Super Bowl was even happening until like a couple of days ago. But I tuned in really just for the Super Bowl concert and the commercials, but I just kind of had it on in the background because I was sort of paying attention, but not really paying attention. I believe the Tampa Buccaneers won. So congratulations to y'all. Tom Brady has yet another ring, whatever that means, because y'all know she's not a sports person. So half of the time I had no idea what was going on. But I did tune into her performance of America the Beautiful, which I thought she looked and sound amazing. But the people in the background were being real extra because they realized they were on TV. So there were a lot of waving and camera flashes that were going on while she was performing, but she still gave an amazing performance. We also had the first duet of the Star Spangled Banner in about 15 years, from what I was told. Eric Church and Jasmine Sullivan sung the Star Spangled Banner. I mean, listen, nothing will ever top Whitney Houston's Star Spangled Banner. That is always like the standard. But I did like their rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. They gave it like this bluesy, kind of jazzy sort of feel to it, not like what Fergie was trying to do, but they actually did it a whole lot better. But while I was watching this, I thought for 2 seconds, what would this have been like if Jasmine Sullivan had sung it by herself? No shade to Eric Church. He was great, but I just felt like at times Jasmine was really trying to get her voice up there. And Eric was like, no, girl, we're going to keep it down here. And she was like, I'm really trying to take it up and you're trying to keep me in this pocket. But that was a great performance until we got to the halftime show with The Weeknd. Some of y'all did not hold back your thoughts on this performance, and many thought it was very lackluster. For me, I thought it was okay. I think it's one of those, The Weeknd, when he was announced that he was even a performer, I was like, It didn't have that same like energy and vibe of like, ooh, I wonder what he's gonna do, like a J-Lo, a Bruno Mars, or a Beyonce, or Madonna. And kudos to him for dipping into his own pockets and spending $7 million for his performance. Visually, it was great. He sounded great. He looks great. He had a great message. I think that we just have an expectation of a Super Bowl performance. It's supposed to be a huge spectacle. It's supposed to be energy. It's supposed to be dancers. It's supposed to be boom, cat, cat, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he just kind of kept us mellow, but in this visual element. A lot of my friends were saying, but he employed all these people. And listen, that's great. There's always people working behind the scenes. However, I needed a new routine to learn from the Super Bowl halftime performance. So that was just my whole thing. Flobito.
How's it going?
Flobito, this is my new technical person who I'm going to be chiming in with from time to time. Things happen. We got new people. The show keeps moving. Did you enjoy the Super Bowl?
It was solid. I actually watched it condensed. I actually went back and I skimmed through a lot of it because it was an absolute slaughter. We were expecting the Clash of the Titans, and just basically Tom Brady doing Tom Brady like things, you know.
So basically, you didn't pay attention to it either.
Nah, I skimmed it.
What did you watch the halftime?
I did.
Yay or nay?
I had this discussion with a friend of mine. I say that if you liked an artist, you're gonna like the halftime show. If you hate the artist, you're gonna hate it. And if you think they're mid. And I'm a mid Weekend fan, so I didn't hate the halftime show, but it didn't blow me away like past years.
So you're with a lot of us that's like, it was cute, but we would have rather had seen somebody else do a 5, 6, 7, 8, a twerk or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all of a Holly twerk. Why not?
See? Okay. That's it. All right, so moving on to Miss Tessica Brown. If you guys are not familiar with Tessica, she is the poor girl that used Gorilla Glue on her hair and cannot move her hair at all. Apparently it's been in there for a month. She went to the ER where they gave her acetone and like rubbing alcohol. Apparently that is not working either. First of all, if you're going to use something new on your hair, please make sure you read the label. That's what I do. Before I put any new juices and berries in my hair to make it curly, y'all, this isn't natural, by the way. I have a texturizer to help me with that. I read everything. I read every chemical. Is this for hair? All that before I did that. And this poor girl apparently didn't read that this was super glue, honey, and not for your hair. So I'm gonna send her a Tony prayer in hopes that she gets this situation figured out. She has a GoFundMe account for all her medical bills and stuff like that. But Lord, lay some hands on this poor child, because that hair ain't going nowhere as of right now. Gorilla Glue tried to give her some tips as to how to take care of it. That didn't happen either. And now Tessica's like, I'm finna sue y'all. So I'm gonna keep up with the story because I just want to see how this is going to turn out. But if all else fails, there's always a good wig. I got about 14 that I can send her if you need one. Last but not least, I don't know if you guys saw this over the weekend, but Suzanne Somers, you guys know her from Three's Company. She was doing a live, like we are now, presenting her makeup line, and somebody just walked into her house. And she very calmly, coolly, collectively asked that person to leave. I was still trying to figure out how he even got in the house, because no one can get in my house. Every door, window, everything is shut and locked, and I know where everything and everyone is supposed to be at any given time. How this person got in, I have no idea. He had a gift for her. She was like, that's cute. I don't know you. Thank you. But her and her husband dealt with it real calmly. I don't know how calm I would have been. I really would have probably turned into a white woman and went to screaming and called 911 and tried to get this person out of my house. But she was okay. She was not harmed. She called the police. She ended her live. I hope she sold some blush and all that kind of stuff in the process. But Suzanne, make sure you keep your house locked up so that people just don't randomly come into your house. All right, y'all, that's it for Tony's Take. But listen, don't go anywhere, because we have Chad, Faith, and Garrett coming up right after this. You are getting a little bit of More Please.
Dream it, believe it, achieve it. Siren Properties, connecting you to real estate around the world.
Coming to JLJ Media this Valentine's Day: Eros, Aphrodite, Venus, Amor, Cupid. Names you've heard before, mentioned usually around love. Well, this new dramedy audio series from JLJ Media talks about love, the business of love, and love gone wrong. Tune in for the 8-episode event coming this February, Valentine's Day, on JLJ Media and all the streaming platforms.
All right, everybody, it's time for my favorite part of the show. It's time for a little KIKI. Now, I know a lot of you have been binge watching a lot of stuff during this pandemic, and one of the shows that I watched like in a day and was going through all the hoops and valleys and roller coasters of emotions with them was HBO Max's 12 Dates of Christmas. If you haven't seen it already, make sure you watch it, but I have a wonderful chance to follow up and catch up with the wonderful cast. So please help me welcome two more, please. We have Chad, Faith, and Garrett. Hi, everybody.
How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Garrett,
Hi,
thank you so much for pulling over during your road trip and having
I've
this
got
little
my
KIKI
skis
with
in
me.
the back. I'm literally driving back to LA from the mountain. And guess what I just found?
What?
Chromatica Gaga Oreos. No joke.
I didn't even know they came in the smaller pack.
Oh, the
yeah, these are singles. I got this at a gas station.
That is, I haven't tried them yet. They're a little too colorful for me.
I'm about to try it for the first time.
Wait, Bear, can you open one up real quick? I want to see the color.
I think it's like, hold on, I don't have a mount, so you're gonna see the ceiling for a second.
Okay.
1 sec. Okay, wait, I got it. It is.
Let's see, pink.
It smells like Oreos, but it has like this green.
No.
I'm with Faith. I'm like,
Wait.
How is
Oreo. Guys, it's Oreos. It's just
Is it double stuffed though?
It's not a flavor. It's Oreos.
but it looks double stuffed though.
It does look double
It's
stuffed.
like it's just gay Oreos. It's literally all it is. It's just gay Oreos, baby.
Well,
They're good.
is it good? I'm gonna have to take your word for it because I don't know if I need a whole stash of them.
I mean, look at this thing.
That is, see,
It's double stuffed, man.
It looks pretty good.
a lot. Well,
All right,
welcome you guys. First
Thanks
of
for
all,
having us.
thank you for being here. You guys indulged me while I was watching the show because of course, many of my friends know I always have colorful commentary when I watch certain shows. And I was tagging you guys and you guys were like messaging me back and I was like, I'm going through it. I don't know what's about to happen. I felt bad because I felt like I was the hardest on Garrett because I was like,
You were. It's okay. Everyone was.
I was like, Garrett, honey, what's going on? Like, I felt like I wanted to fly in just to be a friend to kind of point you in the right direction. So initially, like, what made you guys decide to do this show? Because obviously it's the first season. You guys had no idea how this was going to go because it wasn't going to be like, you know, like a Love is Blind that you could have seen already or researched or a Bachelor or Bachelorette. This was completely new. So when you got this, what was the initial thought going into it as to why you were going to participate?
Dude, I'll go for me, it was I originally, when I first got reached out to on Hinge, they said no, or like give me a couple weeks to think about it. It was just something that I didn't know, you know, I just had never had that mindset as far as like putting myself out there. I just didn't, you know, there's all these stigmas, you know, with reality shows and, you know, if things could go bad and how bad they could get. And it's just one of those things. It is very personal thing to do. And you realize that so much more, even tenfold when you actually do it. And so those things, you know, scared me in a sense at first, but then I just had to think back and remember that, you know, ever since college, I always had I started this mindset of not so much being a yes man, but kind of in a sense where it's like, just take every opportunity or like at least explore every opportunity, how, you know, how it lays out. 'Cause you never know where it could lead, who you could meet and, you know, where it could go. So I had to kind of remember that in the back of my mind. And so then I took the plunge as far as the interview. And then I just said, you know, we'll see, I'll put my best foot forward. We'll see how far I can go. And I ended up making it on the cast. So
Yeah. Faith and Garrett, how about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, for me, yes, it is weird because we didn't know what to expect, but like I had nothing going on in my life at that time. I'd been single for so long, and I was like, fuck it, might as well, got nothing to lose. So, did I think I'd make it to be a lead? Absolutely not. That just happened, and yeah, I mean, I'm glad I did it. It was a good experience for sure.
And Garrett?
Yeah, I mean, it happened pretty fast. At first, I wasn't really sold on the idea. Casting's, pretty persistent. I'll say that. And like, I was thinking, well, like, look, I'm single. I'm kind of in this place where I would be open to meeting someone if they can, like, if we could go through this process together and create like this memory and it's recorded, like that would be a really cool love story. And so like when I got that in my head, I was like, why not? Like, let's just go for it.
Yeah. Was it overwhelming? Because I feel like going into this, you kind of think, all right, if you're open to the opportunity of finding love, well, obviously this is done completely different. And all of a sudden they're like literally throwing people at you, and then there's cameras, and then there's these dates, and being like, was it overwhelming for you guys at any point in time?
we didn't know the script. I mean, not the script, but the way it was going to go, the format at all. So it's like, as things are happening, and like you said, there's no like precedent before this. It's the first season. So as things are happening, we're experiencing it as in real time as it's happening. Like with the gift giving ceremonies, we found out about the gift giving ceremonies 2 minutes before we went and did the first gift giving ceremony. So
give all the production secrets away, Chad. Be careful. They're probably tuning in. But there's a lot of things that we just like. This was our first time, and we didn't come from an entertainment world or TV. So we're learning as we're going. And it was exciting. It was fun. And, it's beautiful. Like the landscape of where we were at, and the fact that it's like the Sound of Music castle was like ridiculous. But I think it was just like all of us were put in a position which really tested our character. And then even though your character's being tested, doesn't necessarily mean that is how other people will perceive it as well at the end of the day. So it was a lot, and it happened just really fast.
Yeah, I was not well there for like the first couple weeks inside that castle. I was like, get me out of here. Like, but then like as you get the hang of it and stuff, and you kind of start to know what to expect, and you learn your limits, and I think that's when I got more comfortable. But it's a lot getting thrown into and not knowing what you're getting into.
Yeah, I would say too. Same to piggyback that off Faith. I ended up by the end, I lost like 3 jacket sizes, like throughout the entire experience. It is.
Our muscles kept shrinking.
Garrett and I would be like, would cross paths in the morning, and we just like look at each other like we were just withering away. It was just a lot. It was amazing, but it was a lot. Like it was physically and mentally taxing. But real quick too, what I did love, what made me more comfortable about the experience before going to Austria was at first it seemed like overwhelming, all the personality questions that they asked us, but now I know how like valuable and perfect that was, because it seemed a little repetitive at first, but you're answering all these personality questionnaires, and that's how like these matches are formed, and that's why it was beautiful. So
I mean, as a viewer, one of the things that I really liked was that you all were there for each other, and you had those moments where you can just kind of like talk and discuss, and you weren't kind of going through this by yourself. Because I can only imagine if you were just there by yourself with all these people, you'd be like, let me just take a minute, like by myself to do this. But I really enjoyed your moments of just talking through it and talking through the people that you just met and everything like that. Although if I was one of the people sitting there on a date and some other bitch came in and like interrupted it, I would have been like, The castle is that way. Like, come up in here, like trying to mess up this. I'm trying to look forward to. You wait your turn. those were stressful to like watch these connections happen, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a snowman comes in or someone comes skiing in. It's like, hold up, like I'm trying to take this one thing at a time. And I'm sure for y'all were probably like, I don't know what to do in this moment. but you handled it well. You guys handled it well.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because it's funny how there's such a difference sometimes on things, how you remember it going and how it actually went. And you know, during those specific moments that you're talking about, I remember me just feel like, you know, very calmly being able to like talk the situation out when somebody new came in unexpectedly. But when he rolls back and I'm just watching myself, it's just a lot of not good. So yeah, those are the good elements in there as well.
Is there anything that you guys, now that it's aired and it's out and you've watched it, is there anything that you would have done differently after seeing it?
I think we kind of talked about that a little bit at the reunion, like each of us, you know, like things we learned and like would have done differently. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a part of our journey and it's a part of our story. And I think we can learn something from everything, you know? So whether I would have done something differently now, at the time, I tried doing the best I could, you know? So
yeah.
Given the information we had at the time, I think we all did the best we could.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things that was going on that you don't even know. And then I was watching the show and I would learn new things about Chad and new things about Faith and their journey. I was like, wait, what? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And same thing, like even within my dates, you know, you don't see everything because you're in it, right? And then at the end of the day, you see the full picture and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. What was life like after? Like, as the show's airing, you know, after it aired, did things like change for you guys? Were there like more people sliding into your DMs? Like, what was
the thing that was so weird for us was that like we had I know 2020 was bizarre for a lot of people, but like our 2020 was the weirdest. Like not only, so, you know, we wrapped filming like mid-March for the show, and then the world shut down. So like we're coming off of this like fantasy fairy tale land and then into quarantine, and like not only are you dealing with like the stress and anxiety and like new relationships, and then you have a whole pandemic on top of it. Like it was a really weird year, I think, for all of us.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I mean, same. I ended up, I was living in New York City. Chad was as well. And like that got hit first, the hardest. So I was, you know, after like going through that experience, like you want normal, you want like what's familiar. And so I go back to New York and I'm like expecting to have my life. And then it was just like, everything was just erased in a second, more or less.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we were looking forward to like normalcy after having like craziness inside a castle.
Yeah.
And when we get home, we're like
just kidding, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden you're on lockdown. People are wearing masks. Like there's
we basically went from kind of you don't want to call it a lockdown in a sense, but it
our own quarantine.
Yeah, kind of. You know, I don't want to say too much, but kind of. You know what I'm talking about, and then we continue into a quarantine. So, like you guys said, it was strange. It was strange.
And the weird thing is too, is like, you know, filming was only supposed to be a certain amount of time, but like for us, it felt like the show lasted all year because we had to shut down production. You know, we had to stop filming like hometowns, and like we didn't get to film the finale until so much later, until we could figure out how to do it with the pandemic. And so it's like what was supposed to be just a couple, you know, a month or so, like lasted all year for us. Like, we celebrated Christmas all year.
All year long, it's been Christmas for us.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys are allowed to say this, but now I'm curious. So the Castle stuff was filmed, and then you got shut down, and so then the hometown stuff was filmed much later than it was supposed to be.
So it'll be a year. February 14th of 2020 was when we left for Austria to film. And my hometown was first. We filmed mine first, and so we flew straight from Austria to Seattle. And that was like beginning of March. And then that's when like the pandemic was really bad. So then that's when they shut down and we didn't get to do Garrett and Chad's hometown, and they had to wait for a while. And then we filmed yours when? Like summertime?
Yeah, mine was
mine got in.
Yeah, you got in, right? But then mine was like June. And then from there we rolled into the finale. So the way it was broken up, like Faith's talking about, it was literally supposed to be with Austria. It was literally, I guess, encompassing all three of us with hometowns. It was supposed to be like 5-6 weeks at most.
Yeah.
And it ended up going into like 7 months in a sense, this. But I mean,
we just wrapped the reunion beginning of December. So
yeah, and then we had a little break, and then we had the reunion. And I mean, I love it. I love you guys, but yeah, it's really like it really was. It's a lot.
By the time Christmas, like real Christmas got here, I was like, I have to hear one more freaking Christmas song.
Y'all definitely had like a different 2020 because it was literally like it almost sounds like Groundhog's Day, but you guys were experiencing Christmas.
Literally, that was our lives of 2020.
Was it weird though? Now seeing it now that like it was supposed to wrap very much sooner, but now you filmed the reunion like last year in December. Was it weird to have to then talk about all this stuff that happened at the beginning of the year?
Totally. And it's like, what happened? And so you're like trying to remember all these moments that like, and all the conversations, and you said this, and then you have to also, make sure that it goes with what was actually portrayed. And so you're like,
and having to relive moments that you would rather forget. You're like, I know that, and then they bring it up and you're like,
that they never let you forget.
Yeah.
What do you guys still keep in touch with anyone from the show? Any other besides you three, obviously, but do you guys still have relationships with anyone?
Yeah, we
definitely.
We have a group chat, a big group chat with everybody together. People chime in at times. It's funny because with Kate's in touch with everybody because she's just that person that could do that, and she's so sociable. I thought I was sociable until I met her. So then I keep in touch with more people through Kate. So it's really fun. Yeah.
Garrett,
the gays. I mean, I think it's funny because everyone was like, "Oh my God!" Like they all hate you. It's like, and it's like I think everyone like had something to share that I whether I had to something to do with it or not. I think people want a moment, and so people had their opportunity to share whatever they wanted to share, and then look, we even before the reunion, like we all kind of discussed, like we knew what was about to happen, and so like right afterwards, Corey and I are like laughing and talking about like the whole situation, and so and I actually like. I did an Instagram live with Corey afterwards, which was like fun, and I developed like a real, bond with these guys. And, we all kind of, learned things as we were also in that process together, and not many people get that experience. So I think that created that bond that we all share on the show. And then we went into the pandemic. And so that was also just so weird. It's our last sense of, life before the pandemic was the show. So I think we all got really close.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that going through something like that will always bring people close because they're the only people who experience the same thing that you did. So there's always going to be that connection that, you're always going to have. And I'm glad to hear that, like, because some people went in on the reunion. Like, it was like they had 6 months to really gather their thoughts and gather themselves together. And they were like, I'm going to let you know during this reunion. And they were just like, so I'm glad that like it's out. It's good. You guys are good. Garrett, do the boys still keep in touch with your mom, because they obviously all loved her and like looked at her as like a second mom? So are they still in touch with her?
I think Steven, Corey, and Zach keep in touch with my mom. I don't know about Jose, and then obviously Dominik never showed up. So like, but it was really cool, especially for my mom to have that experience with just an introduction to gay culture in general. Just it's isolated in that part of Louisiana where she lives, but they love her and she loves them, and it was such a sweet moment.
That was like seeing you all with your families, and like in that moment, I thought it just added a different layer to it. And especially like Faith, your family. First of all, I feared for homeboy, because I was like, he's either gonna make it or like he's about to get kicked out, one or the other. Because I could.
It was not as intense as they portrayed it to be. Let's just throw that out there.
it seemed like very intense. Like they were like, all right, what are your intentions? What's your name? What's your address? What's your social security card? What's the credit card number with the 3-digit code on the back? Like that's how it felt. But it was nice just to see like how protective your family was of you, and that they just want the best of you for you.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain things I wish I could say, but I think I'm still under contract. But
and this show does not have a budget, so if you break the NDA, I can't slide.
I will say, like, we had such a good time in Seattle with my family, and I wish they would have shown more of that. But you know, it didn't fit the storyline. There's always a storyline, so you know, I get it. They had to show what they needed to show in order for certain things to make sense.
Well, Faith, you mentioned that. Is there anything else, Chad and Garrett, that you wish that they would have shown or expanded upon that they didn't show?
Absolutely. Like I wish people could see how much filming we actually did versus what was actually shown. Like for us, we're watching it like, oh my God. And especially because you have to think about when we're filming, we're in our own world with our dates.
Right.
You know, we don't even think, and I mean, I did so much filming just for me and my dates. And then you have Garrett and Chad on top of it. Like that is so much content that they have to break down into 40-minute episodes. You know, it's wild. So much stuff that was left out. It's crazy.
Yeah. Just to be good on time, I think if I had to pick one thing, would be the conversations. I wish they showed more conversations, because I can only speak for myself, but just knowing these two, I had really good in-depth conversations with people, and I know you guys both did as well, just from our conversations together. And I just wish they showed more of that too. I think it would have only enhanced the storyline. So I wish it would have been more of that. I love the comedy aspect, because it was a nice relief at times. So it's not all heavy and emotional, but I just wish they showed more in-depth conversations for sure, because we all had them.
Garrett, what do you wish they would have shown?
I mean, like same thing that they said, like more conversations of like real moments that, and they did, they showed things, but of course they pick the things that it's like most entertaining for people to watch, right? Like, you know, like those like foundational questions that Chelsea hates, you know, like those things, like, but you know, like I think there were more resolution moments that didn't make it, that made a lot of viewers question, why did Garrett make that decision? And to support my decision, what that moment wasn't there for the story. So unfortunately, you know, it left people questioning why I did certain things, and which then, you know, reflects me in a light, which whatever, like it, at the end of the day, you can't control certain things, and all you can control is like this conversation. I don't know.
Because for me, Gary, you know, I still have a very lingering question as to why did you keep Dominik if he has said he had only wanted to be friends? And I was stuck on that for the rest of the show. That's why I was always like, Garrett, like why, what had happened with him? What happened with Chad? Like what had happened with Dominik? Like why is he still around if he told you right off the bat that there wasn't anything? Is there anything you want to clear up there to befunk that?
Conversations that happened in the castle happened in a different setup maybe as what was shown. Like the time was always the same, if that makes sense. So when I had a first conversation with Dominik, there was a genuine interest with both of us, and there was like a way of hold on one second. Okay, sorry. I had messages coming in. So there was only so much that I could do as far as like elimination process goes. And I was genuinely trying to get to know him more. And of course there's always the last hand in the story beyond us, and it made it look the way it did to make me look like there was some level of like suspense and dragging people on. I don't know. Like I will say in a normal world, if someone told me that they were not interested in me, I would not like to the level. I would just responded very differently.
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
Not that dense, okay?
we were all wondering. We were like, Garrett, he's still there?
Of course. I'm watching it. I'm like,
I was so confused, Garrett. I had to do a whole PowerPoint presentation. I was like, wait a minute. So like, if he is still.
But honey, It's a good story because let's say how many gays go through this situation. They want what they can't have, and they're like, it's like the stubbornness is real, you know. And so I get it. Like it's a good thing that was told for the first time on a big network, for gays especially. But yeah, I mean, look, I feel your pain.
That's what I immediately thought. I was like, here go Garrett, just typical gay, just won't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got Paul Jose over there that's like, love me, and you're like, not right now. And I was just like, But I'm glad you cleared that up. So now we don't have that thought anymore.
I don't think I knew enough about the situation with Dominik to make my decision pretty early on, and he also was in the same boat. But of course, you can only eliminate certain people at certain times, and there's a logistical process, and then that has to play out too. So there's always more to a story.
This is true. Now,
but it was a good show and it was a good story.
It really was. Listen, I felt it. I was on the emotional roller coaster with you. But at that point, I wanted to get off and rest for a second because it was too much for a bit.
I'm sorry about that, everyone. I did my best.
Don't apologize, Garrett.
Now, how is life now? I mean, it's been like a year later since you all have done the show. It's almost like you still have a year left before you're like fully have gone through the whole show in a year. But like Garrett and Faith, has love come around during this quarantine? Are we dating? Are we finding ourselves? Like, what are we doing now in 2021?
I'll take that one. I am just focusing on myself, on my business. I had a rough year last year. Like I went through a dark period where I was like, what the is going on?
Yeah.
And so I really just want to focus on getting back to myself and like my girlfriends, and like dating is not even like in the forefront of my mind right now.
You need a minute for you just to like.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I think it's really important after the year we had to just really take some time to yourself.
Yeah, and you just mentioned your business. What are you doing? What are you working on?
It's called There She Is. It's a clothing line.
There she is.
Yeah, there she is. Yeah, so I'm doing all the buying and stuff. I mean, I have most of it right here, sitting here. but yeah, I just need to get it up and running. And so that's really what I've been pouring all my energy into right now.
Nice. All right. Come on, small business.
Oh, Faith. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Garrett, how about you?
Yeah, so I had like just a weird year, of course, like everyone did, but I left New York. I'd already I just knew that it was going to take a long time for New York to recover, and I missed sunshine and the West Coast. And so I was like, well, if I have to start a new chapter, this is a really good time right now. I went home to visit my family for a bit of time, which was really special because I didn't know that in August we would have had like one of the biggest hurricanes hit my hometown in 150 years. So my whole hometown was destroyed. We lost over half of our population for the town. As far as they moved out, they didn't move back in. Most of the structures were completely damaged. So that was like very stressful to deal with, and with my family, and then COVID, everything. So I ended up just settling in LA and just focusing on real estate and getting comfortable in California real estate and building up my business there and enjoying the sunshine and outdoors and kind of like, starting over from scratch, really. And I'm excited. And I'm, as far as dating, like it was difficult you can't really date when you have a show impending, and you're like, people are going to like, well, are you with someone? Do you choose someone? You can't give any spoilers. And so I was like off limits. So I think like, once the show aired and everyone was able to, see how it ended, now I'm able to kind of just like start resuming somewhat of a life again for myself.
Okay. So, all right. So we're
no.
What?
So you are dating.
I've gone on dates.
Oh, man.
I'm back in the market.
Okay. And you're dating in LA.
I'm dating in LA.
Okay.
In California, in Southern California.
I already have a feeling that I possibly know some of the people that it could be. Not that I claim to know everyone, but you know how our circle runs. She's real small.
Are you in LA, Tony?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here in North Hollywood. Lovely North Hollywood.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. But of course, Chad walked away with the biggest gift of all.
I know he's got the most changes out of all of us.
Right. Chad, catch us up with what's new with you. Obviously, you are in a new city now with your fiance. Where did she leave? Where is she at?
Yeah. No, she's right around the corner.
Come on around the corner. Put that TikTok down and come on over here.
Waiting for her to come in.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Hi, Faith. Hi, Garrett.
Hi.
Okay.
So there we have it, Chad and Kate. So catch us up, you guys. Like, we obviously watched your story blossom and obviously walked away with each other. And now, a full year later, life is anew. So tell us about it.
Take this.
Yeah. So as of like 72 hours ago, Chad moved to Chicago. We moved into our new apartment, which is amazing. I don't know if you probably heard my cats meowing in the background. Everyone's trying to adjust. So
her cats aren't adjusting well.
No, they're not at all. It's really bad.
We haven't slept.
Yeah. And no, everything's good though. Like, I think just moving to New York. I mean, him moving to Chicago has just been the newest thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it was. We've been really excited about this for a while, and obviously it's interesting because right before, it was really me who was where the time was taking to make the move, because right before leaving for Austria for the experience, I signed my lease for another year. So I was locked in New York, and it just ended at the end of January. So that's what we've been waiting for. So, it's been really, we've really been looking forward to this move together. Like, obviously I was a little bummed to leave New York with all my friends, but she's more than worth it. And I'm really excited about our new place. I'm really excited just about being together now. It was really fun being at home with my family. I had extra time there. You know, so I've just been out of New York and just spending all my time with my family, like quality time there. And now I'm here. So we're just really, really excited. Working on a new line of wristwatches named after my dad. They're inspired by him. So I'm really excited about that. Daniel Savage. Yeah, so we're just really excited. We're really, really excited. We have a lot of furniture to buy. These stools that we're sitting on, I literally went down to the front desk and asked them if I could borrow 2 chairs.
Chairs right now. Yeah.
I also love that you're both in turtlenecks, by the way.
Right.
We both can't be in turtlenecks.
She had one on first.
Like you guys move in together and start dressing.
That's what happens when you become this big couple, this super couple. Like you just start like intertwining with each other. Like it won't be long before they look alike.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Have you how did you guys maintain like the relationship for like during 2020? Because like you film and then it's like all hell broke loose and like you're still trying to maintain this thing. Like what did you guys do to maintain the relationship and end up in your brand new apartmento in Chicago?
Yeah, during that time, we had like that 4 or 5 month span in between, and every night we would just FaceTime. Like we would just right after work, like we'd FaceTime and like until like 1, 2 a.m. It was every single night. We'd watch movies or like have dinner together, and we just like really took advantage of that time to get to know each other. Right. And then after the show, we even still had more time. So he'd come to Chicago, I'd go to New York. So we were just like always together, and yeah, we just kept the communication going.
Now, is there a date set for the wedding?
There is not, with everything going on right now. Even friends that weddings that I'm involved in a wedding that just got pushed back for the 3rd time. And just like, so right now we're just enjoying being together and eating a lot of pizza. Yeah. The little sleep, I woke up in the middle of the night last night and both her cats were like on my chest. So it's just a new adventure. Yeah. So it's fun and we're really enjoying it. So
and I got to grow out these roots that I put on my hair from the reunion until these streaks are grown out. So it's all fine.
As always.
Look, you guys, it was so fun, like being able to catch up with you guys. And I'm so happy for each and every one of you and so glad to see that like your journey still continues, like things are still progressing. You guys are happy and like things are great. And so like, I'm just very thankful for this time to be able to chat with you all and let people know that there's life beyond that castle.
On 12 days.
Thank you, Tony, for having us.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And best of luck to all of you guys. And Garrett, like when you get back to LA and things are a little bit safer, we'll like meet up in WeHo and I'll get you a drink. Drink on me.
Amazing. Oh, I love it. Bye, guys.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, guys. All right, you guys, make sure you don't go anywhere because I know your tea mugs are empty. But guess what? I got a little bit more for you. There's more please, coming up.
Hey, Brad. I brought you your favorite coffee from your favorite coffee shop. And I was hoping maybe we could go out tonight and after our candlelit dinner, you could cradle my body as we lie naked on my bed.
You know Brad knows you do that, right?
What? Oh shit, he's here. Be cool. Be sexy. Yes.
We gon' fix it.
All right. Ooh, that was a good conversation. That was a lot of tea. I wasn't expecting all that, but guess what? I got a little bit more for you. So I want to take the time to just shout out a good Judy of mine, Mr. James Lott Jr., who has been doing a lot during this pandemic. He has basically started his own digital network, JLJ Media, and he has tons and tons and tons of content that you guys can check out. I mean, he has a show called Mistletoe Road. He has the new show that's coming out, Cupid Crossing. He does podcasts, he does everything. So daytime dramas, soap operas, everything. So make sure you go check him out on YouTube, JLJ Media. Give him a shout, give him a like, give him a follow, give him a subscription, because he is doing a lot during this pandemic. So cheers to you, James Lott Jr. All right, y'all. That's all that I have for you this week. Come back next week where we are doing Mutual Friend Part 2, where I get to try to hook up my best good Judy from college. And of course, I have all the latest, hottest topics to give you my take on. So come back. There's more please.